Welcome back to Trash Panda Off-Road. Well team, we've made 200 videos for this channel. Well, 199. Today is the 200th video we're going to upload to the channel, so that means it's time for another fleet update. The first rig we have an update on is the 07 Grand Vitara. Okay. Actually, the 07 Grand Vitara is in St. Louis with Clarenda. There's nothing really to update on that. It's still pretty stock. We haven't really done anything to it. She just needed a good driver. But in return for me letting her borrow the 07 Grand Vitara, she left me her 96 X90. This thing is cool as hell. You guys seen it on the channel off and on. It has been to North Carolina. It's been to Fairbanks, Alaska. It's driven the Alcan Highway. This is a great, excuse me, this is a great little rig. It is on a 1-inch body lift, and then the neighbor's gonna mow his yard this morning. So it's a 1-inch body lift, and then the fenders have been cut out and modified. These are actually trailer fenders that have been zipped in there in order for it to clear those 33s. These are 33, 12 and a half, 15, whatever the metric is, 285, 75, 16s. Yeah, 285, 75, 16s is the tire size on that. It is an automatic car. As you can see, it has some damage to it. There's a video on the channel of when Clarenda actually flopped this rig. So as you can see, it's got a little damage on the fender. This one doesn't sit straight no more. It's got this new crack in the window. It's got a dent here. Oh, I gotta see if I can find some purple paint or something to clean that up. The Raptor liner on this thing isn't great. The guy who did it didn't prep anything. You can still see how shiny it is underneath there. So after years of having it, we didn't build it. It was built when we bought it. But after years of having it, you can see the Raptor liner starting to come off. Future plans for this rig is kind of all up to Clarenda because it's hers. When I get my Grand Vitara back, she will get this one back. But in the meantime, the day after this video comes out, because we do videos every Wednesday, so on Thursday of next week, I'm loading this bad boy up, and we're taking the trip up to Canada. We're going to run the Whipshaw Trail with, last count was about 20 other Suzukis. So watch for those videos, guys. The next rig in our current fleet is my 96 Suzuki X90. Mine is a 5-speed car, and currently the wife is using it as her commuter. So she's driving this bad boy every day to work. It is running on a little bit of a larger tire. It's a 225 75 15. These things came with a 195. So I did put a 2-inch spacer lift on here, but I tried to do the slots on the struts and it didn't take, and so now I need to do camber bolts. I need to put camber bolts on it. It's got some small little nightlight lights just to help light up the road on the way down to the highway, because we live about 3 miles up in the hills from the highway, and hopefully not run into any deer. Future plans in terms of this one right now, we're gonna keep driving it every day back and forth to work, and I do want to lift it more after driving Clarendas. After driving Clarendas for the last couple of months, I do want to lift this again, but I don't really want to cut the body up, so I don't know what we're gonna have to do. Might have to really spend some money and get a nice lift for it, or maybe a samurai axle on the front. This is our 94 Geo Tracker. This one is currently not running because I made the mistake of, when I bought it, it had no engine, and so I went to do an engine swap to it, but I made the mistake of getting rid of the other engine before I took off the intake. So that is a 1990 intake, and it does not match up with any of the plugs and sensors for the 94. And our even the distributor, I had to swap distributor. I was smart enough to do that, but I forgot about the intake. So I'm currently in the market for a 94 intake. This one's got the aftermarket header in it. Oh, sorry, it is got the little toe set up. It's totally set up to be a little toad. That's what I think we want to do with it. It has the roof rack, so we can put our roof rack tent in it. Our roof rack, oh my goodness, a rooftop tent on it. It is currently on a set of 31s, but they rub, so it's going to need a small lift, probably a spacer lift, and then cut the fenders on this one. Rooftop tent's going to go on there, and then we'll be able to just tow it behind our Super Duty, and we won't have to take a car trailer sometimes when we just want to go out and cruise around in the woods or Central Oregon or whatever we want to do. This is a 5-speed car as well. It's got a big giant gash in the windshield. Has this little mat that I've never seen before in person. Also had the little bra on the front hood. I've never seen one of those in person. Room to put a double-din stereo, which I like. I put the cup holders in because it didn't have one of those. No back seats. It's going to need a new top. So it's getting there. But this is a current, wouldn't say current. Ooh, there's a big wasp nest in there. That's always nice. So I have to get some bug spray out. But this one does still need some work. I got to hunt down an intake, and then we'll get back to this. I'd like to be driving this one this summer, but got a lot of projects going on, so we'll see what happens. Move on to the backyard here. And unfortunately, these are where all the broken ones are. Not like all the blue ones broke up front. This is my 95 Geo Tracker. This is the one we call the Trash Panda. This is the tin top that kind of started the whole thing, the whole channel, everything. I originally bought this car from Claire a long time ago. Roosters are awake. It is a automatic car. It has transfer case gears, little bucket, racing bucket seats in it. It runs on a set of 35s and the factory IFS. However, if you can see and been following along, there's all kinds of parts in here. We will be taking this rig to Downing Fabrication, hopefully in a couple of days, and he is going to put the straight axles under it. I have a set of Toyota axles to go under it. Runs a Jeep bumper in the front. However, we were up last weekend over the 4th of July holiday, and I blew the head gasket, unfortunately. So once I get those Toyota axles put under it, I have to bring it back and do a head gasket, and then hopefully all that stuff's going to be done in time for Suzuki Con, which is at the end of August. So I got about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, I don't know. So it also has the ignition going out, so we had to run a quick wire. You touch this wire to that and it starts the rig. So other than that, that's where we're at with that one. The Overland build. I have had nothing but trouble with this rig basically since I was invited to go with the magazine to Overland Adventure, and I blew the timing chain. Then we put a new motor into it, and we took it to run the Rubicon, and when we ran the Rubicon with this, we blew up some axle shafts. And then when we got back from the Rubicon, we overheated the replacement engine I put in. So then I went ahead and got a different engine. Actually got a 2.3. It has a 2.3 in here. But when I got the engine from the wrecking yard, it also has a blown head gasket. I didn't get it put in time for a warranty on that, so now I'm stuck with having to do a head gasket on this 2.3. This rig is running the 2-inch body lift and the 2-inch spacer lift. Has the bumper from Trail Tough. You guys can see it looks really bad with the spacer, with the body lift under there. So I kind of like to take that body lift off, but I don't want to drop down to 31s. So all that's a problem for a different time, because right now I just got to get it running. This is also a 5-speed car, which makes the engine swaps way easier on 5 speeds because you don't have to worry about transmission stuff. Automatics, you need computers and stuff like that to tell it when to shift. Or you can do a manual shifter, a manual shifting to it. 33-inch tires. There's the Falcons that I got free from Falcon. Got the little Rotopacks setup that I built. There's a video on that. Has a roof rack for the rooftop tent, and the snorkel that doesn't do anything because on the 2 liter and the 2.3 liter, the air intake's on the other side. So plan for this one is just to get it running and start using it again. So the problem with having all this stuff is you get spread pretty thin, and you got to kind of focus on one thing at a time. Otherwise you end up with, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 5 of them are broke. So that's not great. Really? This is my, I want to say 88, but I'm not 100%. This is my 88, we'll say 88, Suzuki Samurai project. It is a long wheelbase that was homemade. It was not a factory long wheelbase. It was actually cut and stretched right in the middle there where you can see this little green patch. So it was stretched 11 inches in the middle. And the way he did it, he added extra floorboard room. So it's hard to tell, but the floorboard now goes all the way back to there. So if I put a back seat and have back passengers, they would actually have room, a footwell to put their feet. This thing, I put the doors on. So, I mean, hey, I've done something to it. Pile of parts in the rear. I have had that top lying around from when I had the Diesel Samurai, which is gone now to Matt. Check out his channel, Matt Varley. He has the Diesel Samurai, but this thing had a 4.3 in it, and it no longer lives in there, so the frame rails have been stripped clean. I'm going to have to do all of that work to get something in there. It is currently running 35s with some nice centerline bead locks. Someday this is going to be cool. I just don't know when, but I saw it pop up. I had to buy it, and so it's been sitting. But it did also come with this. This is a 96 Geo Tracker, and this came with the Samurai just so as that it would have, the plan is to put that motor in there. This is the 1.6 liter 16 valve, obviously, because it's a 96. Do not know the condition of it. Do not know if it runs, drives, does anything. But I was told the guy who I bought everything from said that he was just using this as a little go around in the sand and around his property. So at one point it did run, but that was like 3 or 4 years ago. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. All I need is the motor and transmission out of it, and then we'll figure out what to do with the rest of it. So there it is. There is the 200th episode on Trash Panda Off-Road, where we do a fleet update every 100 videos. And I have 2, 4, 6, 7 of them this time. I think we only had 4 or 5 last time, which was about 2 years ago. So if you're interested in watching any of this stuff, or you have any questions, put your comments down below. Check out all the other videos on the channel. A lot of stuff that gets asked in the forums, on the Facebook or whatever. I have those answers in video form somewhere on this channel because I'm always doing something. Also, check out Trash Panda Off-Road on Instagram. I post updates on there. Definitely every weekday. Weekends, not so much, but definitely every weekday there's an update because I'm always working on something. So consider subscribing to the channel. Tell all your friends. You can also contact me through Instagram, and I will try to answer any questions you have.